Okay, thanks, Jim. Good evening. My name is Greg Young. I'm the chair of the Northborough Conservation Commission, and this is our February meeting. This open meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of June 16th, 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. Excuse me. All members of the Northborough Conservation Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Northborough Conservation Commission to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Todd Helwig.
Here.
Diane Gouldner.
Here.
Tom Beals.
Here.
Dan Clark.
Here.
Good. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Fred Litchfield.
Here.
Jim DiGiulio.
Here.
Thank you. Some ground rules. I will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until their name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. Each vote taken by the commission will be conducted by roll call vote. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. By phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to those viewing the meeting. By Zoom, click Raise Hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized by the chair. The chair will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once I have a list of all the public commentators, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Diane, are you ready?
I am.
Go for it.
All righty. The meeting will include the following hearings pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, and the Northborough Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice of intent for 222 Green Street, map 21, parcel 16, by William Norman for proposed construction of an addition to a single-family home and relocation of the existing septic tank and associated site work. Request for an amended order of conditions, 0 Lyman Street, map 86, parcels 1 and 2, DEP file number 247-1188 by Commonwealth of Massachusetts Division of Capital Asset Management and Maintenance, DECAM, for proposed restoration of wetland resource areas, clearing of existing culvert and long-term beaver management plan and associated site work. And that's the end right there.
Very good. Thank you, Diane. Meeting minutes from January. Anybody have any issues with the meeting minutes? Questions, comments, concerns?
I can't,
I'm sorry, Diane?
I was gonna say, I can't vote on any of this for 2 months, December and January.
Correct. Todd, do you have something? Oh, sorry, Todd.
I was moving to approve them.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded by Tom. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Aye.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Minutes are approved. Diane, were you here for the opening of 200 Bartlett Street?
That the one with the garage in the back, the automotive garage?
It's the old Lammy Automotive.
Yeah, not for here, but for groundwater.
Okay, but you weren't opening for here. So
No,
we need Kelly here for that to give us a quorum. All right, 0 Hudson Street. Notice request to continue that meeting.
Make a motion that we continue 0 Hudson Street to the next meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dan. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
abstain.
Tom Beals. No, you can vote, Diane. This is 0 Hudson Street.
Oh, from way back. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, then they can continue.
Tom
Sorry.
Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
and I vote yes. I'm going to move over. We're gonna move over 200 Bartlett and go to 222 Green Street. Oh, wait a second. Nope, belay that. We are back on schedule because Kelly has joined us. Kelly, you're muted.
Sorry.
Okay, you're good. Thank you. That was pretty quick. You must have had a police escort or something through town.
I was halfway here.
Hello, Vito. All right, so we're gonna go 200 Bartlett Street for the agenda. We talked about this last month. There were a number of questions that were raised. Some of the notes I have here is that from Mia is that the questions that were raised, Vito, were answered to her satisfaction.
Okay. I can
Looking
kind
down
of
here, we do have some items about special conditions, but
Yeah.
I know that I remember that a lot of the items were around the roof runoff.
That's right. Yeah, I can. Let me just share my screen quick.
Sure.
Oh, I just gotta get that enabled.
Sorry about that. Just give me one moment.
Okay.
All right, you should be all set now.
Okay. Great. Okay, so the main question was roof runoff and potential for infiltration for the two buildings on the left-hand side. Lammy's is the back building, and then this front one is what they're calling the administrative building. So we wanted to talk to the LSP first before we did any infiltration over there, because that's the area of residual contamination from years back. So based on what input they had, they didn't really recommend any infiltration around this building itself. The source was over on this side, and right now they've picked up some residual kind of around in these areas. And then up front would be upgrading of it, and they just didn't want to push anything further away. The contamination is down about 50 feet or so, I think. So they're not too concerned with the infiltration, but just to be safe, they felt stay away from immediate areas near the building. So we added some infiltration down the edge over in here, added some Cultex in line on the drainage system. They're all pre-treated through a storm scepter water quality structure first, and then gets infiltration there. And then we also did some kind of more lower impact infiltration. This building here, we took a stone trench along the edge to get this half of the roof, and then a stone trench along the edge of the pavement to get this half of the roof, and then this small paved area in here. So we added infiltration where we could to maximize that, but did want to stay away from those areas of potential contamination. And those are really the only revisions that we made on the plans.
Okay, I'm just reading through some of the notes here. Yeah, no, it was overall, it's a huge site improvement overall. So I mean, that's all positive. Fred, you have any questions around the runoff we just talked about, the roof work? That seemed good to you?
No, it seems good. I just wanted to make sure there was some pre-treatment before any water that was captured from the parking lot went into the infiltration areas. And Vito and I talked earlier today, and he confirmed that there was pre-treatment in that one section next to the small building near Lamy's, where the water is gathered from that small paved surface. Actually, I even think there's a fence, if I recall, in front of that property, just to the right of the Lamy Automotive Building. Or there was, well, there is today.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm okay with that. I will get another crack at it anyways, before the planning board, when they hear it as well. So we'll make sure that the plans are the same, and if they change in any way, ask them to come back and revise them, with the commission.
Yep. The special conditions that we were talking about were, there were 6 of them. Some permanent markers,
Mhm.
weekly street sweeping as needed during construction, an O&M plan for stormwater, a pre-construction conference. I would think that'd be pretty standard operating procedure.
Mhm.
Environmental monitor assigned and contact info given to the commission prior to the start of work. And lastly, a SWIP app and weekly SWIP reports.
Yep.
Those all seem reasonable, Vito?
Yep, those sound good. Yep, no problem.
Any question from the commission on the updates here? Questions, concerns? All look good to you, Tom?
Good with me. Yeah, I think it's great. Get that location rehabbed.
Okay, let's check with the public here. See if we any question, any hands up, or I don't see any hands up or comments. No, okay, we're good there. The other question here is, this is a stormwater permit too, right?
Yes.
So Fred, this was me was asking, should we record the stormwater permit as a separate documentation with the O&M plan, or do we attach it to the order with one recorded document?
Well, me and I had also talked about it. It really can be done either way. I think for simplicity's sake, you can attach it to the order of conditions. The O&M plan is going to be in there anyway, so it makes sense. It's just that since this is the first one, you'll want to be consistent with any future permits and do it the same way.
Right. And I would think that we would probably see 90% of these would be with an order anyway. There'd be very few standalones, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you'd have one that doesn't involve an order of conditions, but there is a possibility that you have a large site that has no wetlands on it, although I don't know where.
It could potentially happen though. But
That's
that's
just a standalone.
recorded
It could.
separately.
Okay.
Does it affect the searchability either way? I don't think it does, right? Like if you have to search it?
I believe since it runs with the land, it should be, you should be able to find it either way.
That would keep it easy.
To have it attached to the order?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred, are you going to keep track of these stormwaters with some sort of log anyway, so we could track them down there if we had to? Yeah. Okay.
The conservation agent will, yes.
That was a proverbial you. That was just not you, but you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it going to become a GIS layer?
Can't answer that one at this time. I don't know. It takes time to get things onto the GIS layer. To be actually awarded your own layer is quite a feat. So I'd
We
have
can
to
all
work with it.
dream.
What's that?
We can all dream.
That's right. That's right. Just don't hold your breath.
Can I ask a question? If you don't mind, I'm Paula Devereaux. I represent RJ Devereaux, and I'm a lawyer from Pierce Atwood. When you talk about stormwater, talk also about the land disturbance permit application?
Yes, those are the same.
Okay.
The bylaw that was adopted last year at the annual town meeting is called the land disturbance and stormwater bylaw. So that's what we're referring to.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. Then let's move ahead. We first of all need to close the hearing. Need a motion for that.
Make a motion to close the hearing for 200 Bartlett Street.
Second,
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call. Todd is recused. Diane Goldner,
Abstain.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
yes.
and I vote yes. So we have 4. Okay. And a motion to move ahead with an order of conditions and also a stormwater permit.
Okay, so moved.
Second,
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call. Tom Beals.
Yes.
Well, Fred, you got a question?
I just want to make sure that you included those special conditions that you referenced, the 6 that were in the discussion.
Yes. Should I go through those again? I can do that.
No, just want to make sure they're part of the motion.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, you want to remake that motion?
Sure. Hold on a second here. Make a motion to issue an order of conditions and a stormwater permit for 200 Bartlett Street with the 6 items that were outlined in the previous discussion: permanent markers, street sweeping at weekly or as needed, operation maintenance plan for the stormwater system, pre-construction conference, environmental monitor assigned, and a contact information to the commission prior to start of work, and the submittal of the SWIP.
Okay.
second,
Kelly seconds. Roll call. Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
yes.
and I vote yes.
All right.
Onward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay.
Moving right along.
Hey, Fred, don't we always have pre-construction conferences?
Almost always, especially on a project like this, but
Right.
maybe not with a single family house.
Right.
What we have always is a site visit to make sure that the erosion control measures are installed in the right location and properly installed, but simple stuff like an addition or even a single family home, if it's not controversial in any way or the line's not in dispute, we don't always have them.
Okay. All right. All right. 222 Green Street. Let's see, we need. William Norman's the applicant. Vito's, Vito, are you again, Vito?
Yeah, I
again.
accidentally moved him over, but I'm moving him back now.
Vito, anybody else?
That should be it. Yep.
222 Green Street.
All right. You guys ready?
Ready?
Okay. Just gonna share this. Okay, so 222 Green Street. Right now it's an existing house. It's a developed lot. They have a split driveway coming up. It goes around the side, so the existing house is up in the back. There's an existing wetland that runs down the side of the property over in here. There's a little bit of an elevation change between the wetland and the site itself. You can kind of see the slope right in there. And there's also a stream offsite, kind of way offsite to the left, but the 200-foot riverfront doesn't really extend much into the site, not into the work area anyway. This is the 200-foot riverfront area. So what they're proposing is an addition off the back of the house, right in here. And that also required putting in a new septic tank because the old one was in the addition footprint. So essentially it's just this addition off the back, septic tank here, and there's also a porch, but that's outside the 100-foot buffer zone. So all the work is within the existing developed areas. There's really no plans to expand any of the yard areas, anything like that. And all the work is outside the 35-foot no disturb buffer zone or no structure zone. And actually all the work's kind of, I think in Mia's letter or email, she had described how there was this steep slope kind of that drops off, and all the work is above that. It's a pretty clear line of where the work would be all contained to. Access is right through the existing driveway. So we extended those erosion controls all the way down the driveway. Even though there's no disturbance down here, just in case there was any tracking that went down the driveway as they came in and out. The access would be right through in this location right here. So that's about all I have. Pretty brief. I can hand it back over.
Okay. Vito, who did the delineation?
That was Goddard.
Goddard did it?
Yeah, they did it in September.
Because one of the items here that Mia brought up was that she couldn't confirm the delineations because of snow cover, but she did confirm that everything is outside the 35.
Yeah.
So the recommendation was to move ahead, and if the commission were to approve this, make a note that the wetland boundaries were not confirmed as part of this order.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can tell it's at the Toa slope when you're out there, but it's maybe tough to get an exact location of it. But just knowing it's the Toa slope, we're outside that zone.
Yep. Yep. Questions from the commission? Comments,
None for
concerns?
me.
Is approving an order but not approving the formal delineation, is that unusual?
I think we've had it before, and if you put it in the findings of fact, we've had it on a few projects in the past. I don't know if it's happened in Northborough or not, but I know we've had it in similar situations where it's winter or they can't really access it, or sometimes it's on an abutter's property that won't give permission. So we've had that too.
Okay.
As long as it's noted in there, I think you're covered.
Greg, I think it's important to note, as Mia indicated in her memo, that if you don't make a note that says you're not approving the boundary line, then it's assumed to be approved. So you want to make sure that it's specifically stated in the special conditions or the findings of fact that it's not, this order does not confirm the line.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Anybody else have any questions or concerns here? I don't see any
No.
shaking heads.
It's fine to me.
Okay, all right. Then let's move forward. Let's close the hearing as a start.
Make a motion to close the hearing for 222 Green Street.
Second.
Seconded by Todd. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes,
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Hearing is now closed. Is there a motion on the floor?
Make a motion to issue order conditions for 222 Green Street with the condition that the wetlands line or delineation has not been confirmed.
Second.
Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes,
Tom Beals,
yes,
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right. Well,
All
thank you
right.
again.
Good job. Thank you, Vito.
Have a nice
Good
night.
luck. All right. All right, so we're going to moving right along. We're going to go to 0 Lyman Street. This is a continuation. This is an amended order of condition request. This is the state land over by off of Lyman, where we had the flooding issue with the Beavers. And I'm sure we have several people here you want to bring in. Yep. April Dorosky. I think Dan is part of it too, isn't he?
May want to just have them raise their hands, everybody.
Yeah,
that
just raise your
needs to
hand if you
comment.
want to be brought in. Okay. It's going to be a full bus. All right. There's April. Okay. Susan's here. Okay. So we're back at it. I believe that we had a couple of items here, right? Weren't you going to come back with a long-term restoration plan? And maybe also a, what are you going to do about the culvert? Right, sound right?
Were we supposed to talk about the Beavers too?
The Beavers were kind of, yes, we can talk about the Beavers. I think they might be a different project, but we can talk about them. Let Susan and team tell us about it. Yes. Okay, so how about the plan to clear the culvert? Let's start with that. I did read the document you sent out. I have read that. So
Yeah, I can start with explaining that. Again, my name is April Dorosky with Fuss and O'Neill. Can everyone hear me okay?
yes,
Okay, awesome. So we submitted an amended order of conditions for this project. Many of you are aware about this site off of Lyman Street, but I'll kind of just give a brief overview of the site history. Originally, this project is a demolition project. And in order to access that area, the construction equipment had to travel across this access road that became flooded because of beaver activity. DCAM proceeded with a controlled water lowering in accordance with MIA's conditions. The water lowered beneath the road, and so it was passable. At some point, the culvert was cleared, and that resulted in deposition of sediment downstream and the banks being incised. And so MIA had found that out on site, and we had to kind of remediate that situation. And so since then, we've stabilized the site by putting erosion controls along the access road, putting erosion control blankets along the banks, removed some of the sediment that was deposited downstream. This was all alongside, we've been before the commission multiple times. And at this point, MIA has approved all of the work that has been conducted. And we've kind of been meeting with the commission every step of the way. And I will share my screen. Can everyone see this?
mhm,
And so this is the result of the work that's happened so far. This is the outlet of the culvert. and this is a turbidity curtain that was installed. You can see the erosion control jute nets along the banks. And this is a view downstream after the sediment was removed. There was sediment identified in some areas over here on the left and also over on the right. This is a view upstream of the formerly impounded area. And you can see there's erosion controls along the road. That was part of the initial stabilization. And this bottom picture is of the culvert in its current condition. You can, if you look in a bit, you can see there's still some debris left in there. And that is part of the reason why we're here today requesting the amended order of conditions. Essentially what the plan is to remove the remaining debris from the culvert because it's still partially filled, and also restore the wetland areas in the immediate vicinity of the culvert. So again, on this left side, this was the former impoundment area, and I'll just describe the restoration that we're proposing as part of this from upstream.
April, before you do the restoration piece, let's talk about the culvert for a second.
Sure.
What's the plan to clear that out? We're not going to use the contractor with the sledgehammer approach this time, right?
No, it will be a much controlled activity where they'll go in and essentially pull the material out and then manually remove it and load it into a dump truck or loader that's on the road. So nothing is going to be stockpiled in the wetland. It will be immediately loaded to be removed or put in an upland area. And as part of that, right now, the turbidity curtain remains, and I'll just zoom in. It's approximately in this area. If that needs to move down further downstream to access the culvert, we might end up doing that to just be able to get in there. The debris is about 5 feet in. So that's the general plan. I don't know, Susan or Ken, if you have anything to add.
No, April, I think that sums it up.
Mostly removed by hand, right? That sounds what it's like. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
So again, keep those erosion controls at the turbidity curtain in place. And starting with the wetlands, we propose putting down some wetland seed mix in the upgradient portion. Like I mentioned, this was formerly impounded, so now it's kind of an exposed area. We believe it would naturally revegetate, but we kind of want to kickstart that process as quickly as possible. And that's why we're proposing seeding in the vicinity upstream of the culvert to help that process move along a bit faster. In addition to that, when we're looking at where we're restoring the banks, these black lines here is where we're proposing putting core logs. So those coconut rolls essentially that are biodegradable to stabilize the channel, but also to help direct the flow into the culvert. And installing live stakes, either willows or silky dogwood. They're commonly used for bank stabilization, and installing those along the banks as well. In addition, there is some beaver debris that is remaining around the culvert. So we'd make sure to get all of that out first before doing that restoration. And this yellow area is where we're proposing to put an erosion control blanket. That's essentially the upland area, the road embankment. So, it's pretty steep and it's built up. So wherever it's dirt and not, the pavement, we want to try and stabilize that with the erosion control blanket that'll, go to the base of that road embankment and then seed atop of that, which is a pretty standard practice. And very similar activities for downstream, removing any beaver debris that's remaining and hauling that off site, and installing those core logs along the bank, again, to promote the stabilization of the banks and keep the channel flow as is. And we did write a little note to make sure there's another stream that flows out to make sure that the flow can be accessed through that stream as well. So there'd be a break in the core logs at that location. So that is the general plan for restoration. Are there any questions?
From the commission have questions or comments?
I guess my only thought or question is, I would think that it would be in everybody's best interest to put something in there to prevent further beaver activity after you do all this great work, if they come back in a month and fill it back in again.
So if I may address that, this demo project, this is the scope of work that we think is appropriate to have as part of that project. Separately, we're working on a plan which is not yet completed in terms of setup, where we will, DCAM intends to address the beavers as a long-term project with a project that will include removal of the beavers. But that's on a parallel but slightly separate track, Commissioner.
Okay.
The only question I have, are the beavers still there, or are they actively being managed right now? Because you want to spread all the seed, but if it just floods because beavers are still present, then I didn't know if we have to wait for the beavers to be gone before we start planting.
April, I don't know if you wanted to address that and then I can chime in.
Yeah.
Or do you want me to go first?
Yes, Susan, you can go ahead with the beavers.
So the beavers are, the site is being monitored to make sure that the beavers don't undo the work that's already been done. So they are being actively managed and will be throughout the demo project. What we're trying to do here is to get in these various stabilization methods and features that April has described before spring rains come. And so the other project is from DCAM's management of projects is a separate project, and we're trying to get that expedited as best we can. But we do feel it's important to be able to move forward with the stabilization work, because whether beavers are there or not, we do know that the spring wet season will be coming, and we want to get this stabilized as best we can, Commissioner.
And this is Dan LaFrance as well, with just one other point to add, so that the commission has a sense of the timing here. The contractor that's doing work on the site right now has a schedule that brings them out through late spring, early summer. So it's not as though, they're going to be pulling up stakes in 3 or 4 weeks and out of the site, such that there's a real, immediate break from the project in terms of being able to keep watch over the culvert and make sure that, they control the beaver activity. They own the site for about another, I believe it's 4 months. So, we will have the ability for the next few months to actually keep track of, the beaver activity and manage it accordingly.
And obviously, in addition to the contractor, we have a resident engineer who's on site every weekday, and we have monitoring via Fuss and O'Neill as well. So hopefully things line up where there's no gap period where the beavers can suddenly undo the work that's been done.
Okay, very good.
Kelly, are you satisfied with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Dan Clark, how does it sound to you?
I was just curious, how many beaver have you removed from the site?
We have not removed beavers yet. We need to have town permission from that, and we're setting up we're in the process of setting up that we can have contractors and subcontractors do that, but it's a separate project for DCAM from the demolition project.
Okay. So the beaver is still there.
There are quite a few beavers. There have been estimates of a couple dozen, maybe more.
A couple dozen beaver in this one site?
Yeah, actually, the beavers have turned what used to be quite a number of acres of upland into land underwater through their efforts.
And just to be clear, this is the furthest upstream reach of the area that the beavers have been working on. The system goes down through Westboro and I believe into Marlboro before it catches up with the river over by the other side of the water treatment plant. So it's that whole system, several hundred acres that the beavers are active in. So it's not just it's not 20 beavers in this 10-acre area per se.
I see. You're talking about the extent of the drainage. Has that many?
Yeah. We've removed other beaver dams downstream of this area where this system discharges into Westboro. There's another area of flooding that we had to manage at the start of the project, and there have been others up and down the reach.
All right. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what your long-term plan is, I guess. But in the short term, I guess, as long as, fortunately for you, beaver aren't that active this time of the year. So if you hurry up and get your work done, you might be all right.
Hey, Susan, how do we hook into that long-term plan, or will you come to us with it?
I will bring it to you.
Is there a rough time frame for that?
Roughly within the next month. So as soon as we can, we're working on it.
Okay. So it's imminent. It's weeks out versus months out. Fair?
Yeah, I think it's more than weeks, but it's not many months. No. We have to, we'll want to come to you with a plan and make sure that we address any concerns that the town may have. So, there's just a few steps on this side in terms of setting up the contracting.
Yep. Yeah, well, I think the point somebody made earlier is that with all the good work you're going to do here, we don't want to have that, eaten away, so to speak, right? And
right. We don't want to have any gap period between the end of the project. We'd like to address it as soon as possible. So you have our pledge that we're working towards that.
Fred, can we put that in the amended order that we will get a delivered long-term beaver management plan?
Well, I don't think that's a proper condition, if I may offer, for approval of a plan that is part of a project, the demo project that will close out. Would there be another way we could address that, Chair?
That's what I'm trying to find. Fred, what do you think? Any history with this?
Not much. We've worked with some other locations in town where beavers were either removed or control facilities were installed. They don't generally require conservation approval other than certification if it's an emergency.
Yep.
You may want to put something in there to make sure that the beavers have been dealt with in an appropriate manner prior to the issuance of a certificate of completion, so that at least we know on the end of the process that it's been handled and it's completed. That works for the state. Something like that might be okay.
The concern we have with that is that we won't be able to make a final payment to the demo contractor until there's a certificate of compliance. And that seems like it's shifting a burden to the wrong party when the burden is on DCAM to keep good to its promise to have a long-term plan to manage the beavers. That's my concern.
I can appreciate that concern, but doesn't it, are you anticipating that the beavers won't be under control before the certificate of compliance is requested? You think there's a possibility that it may not be done by then?
That is not directly the concern. The concern is that the order of conditions is for work being done by one contractor, and this item is not under that contractor's control. And we literally would not be able to make final payment to them until they get the certificate of completion. So it's important to DCAM to timely pay contractors and to close out the contract when that contractor's work is done. They're not going to be doing the beaver management work or anything as part of that project.
So I kind of agree with the applicant. I'm not sure why. I mean, we can't force them to control the activities of other biologic actors for perpetuity, right? They applied for a specific project. They're going to get an order of conditions. They're going to fix this problem. And then the future is going to have to take care of itself.
Yeah, I'm not looking to have the resolution of the beavers be part of this. I'm looking for some sort of hook to make sure that the long-term plan is in fact developed and we see it or it's implemented. I mean, that can happen.
Why is the long-term plan their responsibility on this? I mean,
Whose
their project,
responsibility is?
it's nobody's.
Well, there we go.
I don't know that that constitutes work under the act.
Okay, okay.
I think we actually talked about this at our last meeting. I'm just reading the minutes. Sorry. I believe we did. Didn't we address this at the last meeting? Because we had the same question, and it was the beavers is more of a property management issue. But I don't know what we ever determined. Sorry, I'm trying to read it sideways while talking. But I don't remember if we ever came to a final outcome at the last meeting either.
I mean, for me, I'm prepared to issue the order the amended order as they've presented it. And they've told us they're going to come back with a management plan. And if they do, they do. If they don't, I mean, the beavers take over again. And I don't know that that's a problem.
Okay. Any more commission questions or comments?
Yeah, I mean, to Todd's point, I think maybe it became a problem because they had to use that road and they had to unclog that culvert to get to their site. That's what I'm guessing happened, right? So
Yeah, they're going to solve that problem and then it'll revert once they're done taking the tank out.
yeah, I'm all for beaver ponds. So, I mean, as long as that road, if no one needs to use that road, I mean, I guess, and no one's touching the culverts, you have another chance of a blowout. Yeah, I don't know.
Susan,
Well,
you raising your hand there?
Yes, I would offer that with Mia's communications with us. I think DCAM, we've made a commitment to the town through the Conservation Commission that we are going to do a project to manage the beavers. And if it would give some comfort, I think it'd be more appropriate if I confirm that in a communication to the town, and then we follow up and tell you what we're going to be doing, even if it doesn't require an NOI, as I think has been suggested. But we do want to be good partners with the town, and we appreciate that you've, well, all of you, but me in particular, coming out to the site. And it's been a very cooperative regulatory relationship, and we'd like to keep it that way. And we have made a commitment to the town, and we're planning to follow through with that and are in the process of doing so. I don't know if that helps you.
Nope, no, the feedback we have received has convinced me. So we're fine. We're fine.
So I guess
one more go around here from the commissioners. Any questions or comments?
just one comment. Maybe what's hanging me up, maybe it's not a beaver management plan. Maybe it's more of a site stabilization or long-term. I mean, I can't imagine you're committing to managing beaver in this site. You'll be there for the rest of your lives.
No, we're not, the plan is not going to be, forevermore. We're going to be checking for beavers every few months, but we are going to work to adequately address the beavers. And part of our plan too is to consider what else we need to do, breaking up the lodges, doing some cleanup and restoration. So that's sort of a part of the vision that we have.
Okay, just a warning, it's illegal to break up a beaver lodge. So just an aside.
These are the issues we're working through. Yes.
What you want to do, but you can't do it. Okay, any more comments from the commission? Let me do if we have any public comments out here.
Excuse me, Greg,
Yes, go ahead, Diane, sorry.
is this property mostly in Northborough? Or is it also in Westborough?
The property sort of under discussion here is completely in Northborough.
Okay. Is there any way we could just, you could add in maybe having someone come and inspect it a couple times a year or something? Would that create problems? Or maybe connect with us somehow to do that?
Well, I think we can discuss that when we present our plan to you. I don't think that would be part of any approval of the plan that April and Dan submitted on our behalf for tonight's hearing.
Okay.
Diane, we'll be doing site checks of the plan that has been submitted on that.
All right.
Okay, anything else? No public comments. So I think we need to close this hearing. We have to close the hearing first, Fred?
Yes.
We
Close
close
the
it, right?
hearing.
Because it's the continuation of several months of discussions. Yes, so that's
Yes.
okay.
You need to
So
close the
moved.
hearing. So moved. Okay.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by Dan. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Hearing is now closed.
I'd move to issue the amended order of conditions for 0 Lyman Street.
I don't think
Second.
there are any special conditions. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kelly. Kelly seconds.
Yes.
Are there any special conditions? I don't think so. Basically, implementing the plan that was presented.
Yes, in accordance with the plan that was presented. And
Okay,
then
roll call.
uh,
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right.
I vote yes.
Didn't we get you? We got you. Did I get you?
No, I just seconded.
All right. All right. Yep. Yep. Kelly Marston also unanimously voted yes. All right. I think we're good. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your team for working with us. And we're going to continue to work together here for the foreseeable future. So
Absolutely. May I consider that the item that's on to discuss the long-term plan, that we've addressed that here, or do you want me to stay on this meeting?
I believe you're talking the violation.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's covered. We've covered that, I believe, in this discussion.
Okay,
That
very
was
good.
good.
Thank you.
I was just left on the agenda in the event that there wasn't a resolution tonight.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Good
lot.
night.
Happy
Good night.
Valentine's Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, April. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
I wore my pink.
See that?
In honor of Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So Dan, the Beavers are going to be, they may take over again.
Well, I assumed that they had to remove some beavers from the site. The fact that they haven't removed any, yeah, it's just a matter of time. But
Yeah.
if there were beaver there before and no one cared, then maybe we don't care. That I think the problem was that they had to blow out the beaver dam to get to their construction site. So that was the problem. But I'll be curious what they write up.
I think the order of conditions will call for the site to be stabilized. If the beavers come back and the area gets flooded, we can't confirm that it's been stabilized. They can't get a certificate of compliance. So it's in their best interest, at least, to keep the beaver at bay until they can get the site stabilized and put back to the way it was supposed to be. If the beavers come back eventually, that's another issue for another day.
Okay, well, we'll find out. But that's the list. That's the end of the items. COCs, Fred, we have 3 certificates of compliance requests.
Yes, I lost my agenda. Here.
101 Maple, 7 Easy, and 400 Cedar Hill.
Yes, 101 Maple. Mia had outlined in her review memo draft before she left that no work had ever begun, and she went to the site and it was in good shape, and so there's no reason that a certificate of compliance couldn't be issued.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is 7 Easy Street. That one goes back to 1993. Between 1993 and now, I think somewhere around 2008, 2007, the house was torn down, a new house was put in there, new septic system, and they were issued a certificate of compliance. But somehow between 1993 and now, no one ever asked for a certificate on this order conditions number 247430. So it seems fine to issue a certificate and clear the title for a sale that's happening, I guess, later this week.
What about Cedar Hill Street?
Cedar Hill Street, if you recall,
that's
is
right.
a
Yeah.
project with New England Football Club. They built the indoor and outdoor turf fields at the intersection, near the intersection of Bartlett Street and Cedar Hill Street. Project moved along quite rapidly, was managed quite well right from the beginning, with the drainage and the basins being installed early and stabilized and maintained throughout. The contractor did a very good job, and it's now complete. So I am just reviewing the final as-built drawings and all the information that was required with both the planning board and the Conservation Commission, and everything has been submitted. So I would ask that you would issue that certificate as well.
And I move then to issue certificates of compliance for 101 Maple Street, 7 Easy Street, and 400 Cedar Hill Street.
Second.
Seconded by, I think it was Kelly. Roll call, Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Are they open for business, Fred? The soccer place?
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe they got their occupancy permit from the building department. They had a final walkthrough and sign off, I think, a week or two ago. So they should be. I don't know if there've been any tournaments yet, but they should be.
Violations. We covered Zero Lime in this part of the amended order. 93 Maynard Street. So that's yours. That's your baby.
And I saw the note here. I'm okay with what's done. I think
Yeah.
I'm.
They pulled out the grievous stuff. They pulled out the
Yeah,
skids
it-
and all that's out, and
Yeah.
the other
it was
structure
that
seems
one-
to be not bad there. So, okay. And I don't believe they're here tonight. Let me, so, wait a second, I'm sorry. There's a hand up. I'm going to bring in Raquel Menez. Okay. Could you unmute yourself, please, Raquel? Still muted.
Mute.
There you
Can
go.
you guys hear me now?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, and you are the property owner of 93?
Settled for quite a while, but we got a call from Mia in November about some intrusion of the wetlands on the left side. We know the gate. Can you mute yourself, please? We know the gate was existing, as well as 11 feet of panels on either side of the gate since the time we bought the house. I believe those have been there since the 1980s. And what we did, I mean, we took some of the existing panels and we took it to our welder and tried to reinforce the top and the bottom. And we put back exactly the same panels. Now, we were hoping to extend it, but we didn't know we were going into the wetlands on one side. However, what we took out as the base to what we have now, I'm sure Mia took a picture. There's still a panel that we have on the shop that hasn't been put back on, but the base, as it was exactly when we purchased the house, is still there. Our intention was to have the left side restored as far as the panels that were there to the same exact condition as when we purchased the house, which is about 11 feet of paneling on the left side of the gate. We haven't put that back yet because we were waiting for this hearing, but from everything we know, that has been there, since the driveway was put out in the 80s. So that's what we were hoping to accomplish, to actually put the missing panel on the left side. But we've cleaned out everything else that we were told to clean up.
Panels go on the existing, that structure that's there?
Yeah, do you see, I don't know if I can share my screen. I have a picture that Mia
Yep, that would be good.
took. Just one second. How do I share my screen? Here I am.
There you are.
Share screen.
We see you.
Thank you. Mark, you want to see on the back here? There you go. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
So do you see this panel that's here on the bottom?
Yep.
Yes, there was a fence structure going up there about 11 feet out of this point. Now, what we did is, and let me try to move that. I don't know if I can move this. Oh, the only thing we've done to what was there existing, this panel here, we took it to the shop and we put a bar up top and a bar on the bottom here just to reinforce it. But we were hoping to get the panel, actually we are hoping to get the panel back up that was on this location as it was when we moved in. I mean, not when we moved in, when we purchased the house, to be exact.
Okay. Well, I mean, my opinion is that should be fine. The structure below it is already there. That's grandfathered in a sense, what we're saying, and going above that is not going to intrude to the wetlands any more than what's already there. That's my view. I don't know what the rest of the commission feels about it.
I agree.
Seems reasonable.
I agree.
Anybody else?
If pre-existing, then that's fine.
Yeah.
What was nailed to the tree?
Oh,
Further up
there
to the-
was, what was new, there was, I mean, I think in beginning of November, we had this flag, but we've had so many people in and out of the side, they flagged the tree, but we didn't nail anything as far as the structure or anything to the tree at all.
No, you see a piece of wood up there, Kelly?
Yeah, I didn't know if it's like a tree house or a deer stand.
Yeah, looks
I
like a
don't know.
2x4 or something up there, or part of it.
Yeah. But yeah, the bar on the bottom, I don't see any reason why not.
So it sounds like hello, Mr. Menendez. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Menendez? Probably not. I apologize, but welcome. Thank you for coming tonight too, by the way. So if we say, go ahead and put that panel back up, do you have any more plans that you want to at some point in time do something, because it is wetlands and there's certain restrictions that you have to abide by?
Yeah,
Any
we'll
more
look
plans,
in.
or are you going to put the panel up and be happy?
For now, we're good. We ran out of money to do much more. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but we certainly understand now where our boundaries are, and we know that if we have to get any special permission, we'll definitely go to the board to get those permissions.
Good. Yeah. And if you talk to the conservation agent, and it was me, we'll have somebody new coming in here, but the other ones that'll help guide you through the process if you need to. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions from the commissioners here? Fred?
No.
Nope, I'm good.
Thank you for working with us. And
Who is our neighbor, by the way? I heard there was a neighbor in the commission.
Your
Neighbor
neighbor.
broadly defined. I live up on Howard Street, but I just drive by on my way to work every day.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I live close to you too.
Oh,
So-
that's great.
we have eyes all over town, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, and I know this property has been eyed on for a few years, since it caught on fire. So we're happy to, you guys also were part of 90 West Main, which is one of our properties. So we're very happy to be in town physically, finally. So
Good. I think 90 West Main Street, once the weather clears up, you'll start working there again, maybe, huh?
yes, soon.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for attending tonight. Thanks for your help and cooperation. Stay well, and
Thank
we'll
you guys for your
talk to you down the
patience.
road.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Okay. Doing all of our homework here. All right. Bartlett Pond. Kelly, would you send me that document, which was actually a contract, a quote and a contract? I spoke to Fred about it, and Fred's not even sure. I'll let you fill in, Fred, as opposed to me paraphrasing to you, but
The contract needs to be signed by the town administrator. So
Okay, yeah.
I found that he signed the last one, he'll sign this one. You need to vote to expend the money if you think it's an appropriate use. It's within the money allotted to the commission through the CPC grant last year, I think. Anyways, once it's voted by the commission, I'll have it signed and endorsed by the town administrator. That's all we need to do.
Is he on the call tonight? Did they know that? Because I keep getting requests to sign the document. I was like, I can't sign that.
I don't see anyone else in attendance in the audience that might be from Solitude, so I don't think they're here, but I can reach out to them tomorrow if you like. Let them know what you voted and then what the process is going from here.
Okay, thank you.
all right. So the quote is for $27,755. It's what we talked about last time when they were in, what they're going to do to Bartlett. I'm just looking for notes here. Any questions, or can we vote this, or we want to talk about it?
I feel like we
Everybody's
were
happy.
all in agreement last time.
Yeah, I think so.
It sounded like a good idea.
I'd move
Well,
that
then let's vote. Let's
we
vote.
authorize the contract to be signed.
You authorize the expenditure of $27,755.
Second,
Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes,
and I vote yes. Okay, and Fred, you'll contact Solitude so they don't pester
I will
Kelly.
contact them tomorrow and let them know that it was approved and that the process is to have the town administrator sign.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Informal discussion, vice chair discussion. We'd like to have a full quorum to have that, and we're missing Justin. So let's kick that out to March. Or I
What
could
did you
appoint
say, Jim?
somebody.
You
The powers that I
nominate
have.
Justin?
What's that, Tom?
We nominate Justin?
Yeah,
There's
isn't that the
always-
rule? If you don't show up, you get nominated?
There's always that risk, you know, if you're not one, it's you.
Well, if he was on vacation in Florida, I'd say, yes, you could do that. But since he's dealing with a family emergency, I think we should cut him a little slack. That's just my opinion.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna wait till I go on vacation?
Yeah, you're it.
So we'll push that out. Discuss allowing Fred Litchfield to sign documents on behalf of the commission. If you remember, Mia used to sign on our behalf, especially during the pandemic when we were not in person. We need to move that authority over to Fred, I believe. Correct, Fred?
I think so. From what I could tell, Mia signed your names and then signed on the bottom, and that document went to the Registry of Deeds. When you voted that authority to Mia back in June of 2020, maybe, the motion was made by Todd to allow Mia to sign for you. The document that actually went to the Registry of Deeds and is on file there just says that you agree to have your signatures put on the documents electronically. It doesn't reference Mia's name. So I think it's fine if you just authorize me. We might have been okay if I just did it, but this, I think, covers us in case somebody from the registry calls and says, hey, why is he doing it instead of Mia now? So I'd like to have it on file if that's okay with you. And if it's just part of the minutes, I think that's all that's necessary.
I would make that motion. The registry, by the way, will never call you.
I know, but thank you for that.
Motion by Todd. Is there a second? Seconded by Tom Beals. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes,
and I vote yes. Okay.
What else do we have on there?
The forestry plan update, Tom, you know what's going on there? The request has gone into DCR for the funding. The DCR?
Yes.
It is
Yes.
DCR. They've acknowledged receipt of the documents and that's where we're
Yes.
waiting for. So,
Yeah. We do need to select, we got two quotes, so we
Yep.
need to at some point select a forester, but we haven't heard anything from DCR yet as to whether the funding has been approved.
right. Once we hear that, then we can take that next step. On that. Okay.
Each of those people who submitted proposals contacted me earlier in the week. I explained to them where you were at with the funding and they both understood and will wait to hear from you.
Anything else going on with correspondence? Anything else going on, Fred? We didn't cover?
I spoke to the owner of the property at 314 Church Street. They're going to start work this week. New septic system, but between Brewer Street and Autumn Drive, you may see some activity there. I was contacted by the applicant at 14 Hillside, wanting to know what the next steps were. I told him he couldn't start until he got his septic approval from the Board of Health, and then the erosion control would need an inspection. So I will follow up with that as soon as I hear from the health department that they've actually issued the permit to install the septic system. Other than that, I think that's it on my end.
What about your replacement?
My replacement?
as conservation agent?
That's in process. We're working on that. We've received some resumes. Beyond that, not too much to say. We're starting to set up interviews this week and maybe some more next week. And as soon as I know something, I'll share it with you. I'm hoping that I would love for them to be here for your March meeting, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I'm hoping, I'm more confident that somebody will be on hand by the April meeting.
Seems reasonable, more reasonable, I think, for April.
Fingers crossed.
Fred, what about the planning board, the planning position? That's
The
been
town
filled?
planner's position has been filled. The new town planner is due to start on March 7th. Her name is Lori Connors, and she comes to us from the town of Millbury.
Okay, good. And the agent, the new agent will report to Lori, just like the old structure.
Just, yes, that's correct.
Okay. March meeting, March 14th meeting. Couple things on meetings. One, I think some of the groups starting to go back in live, I think. Planning's going live, right, Fred? Face to face?
No, not that I'm
No?
aware of. They're
thought
meeting
Diane-
tomorrow. They're meeting tomorrow night. As far as I know, it's by Zoom, but
Okay, so still Zoom, right?
the Board of Health did lift the mask mandate in town. It doesn't apply to the town hall. But in-person meetings are now up for discussion, if you want to do that,
With mask on.
with masks on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no hybrid. There's an assumption that somewhere down the road, a hybrid where some can be in a Zoom meeting and some can be in person would be available, but that's not possible yet. Right now, as far as I know, it's either one or the other.
so the suggestion is we probably just keep it as it is for now. I mean, there's pros and cons, right? One of the things I think that is beneficial for Zoom meetings is that we do seem to get some public participation, maybe more so than trucking into town hall, but you do lose something from the face-to-face side too. So I mean, my view is we keep it as it is for now, unless anybody has a strong feeling otherwise.
I agree.
Yeah, keep it Zoom, fine.
Yeah.
March meeting, March 14th meeting. Anybody know they're not going to be here? Let me rephrase that. Anybody know they're not going to be with us together here somehow, like the Zoom meeting?
I will be away, but I will be able to attend since we're doing a Zoom meeting.
See the beauty of Zoom.
There you go, another benefit. Kelly, you good for March?
I'm good. Store's going to be open, but it's a Monday night. Who eats ice cream on Monday?
I do.
There
Every
you
day of
go.
the week.
Yeah, I'll be good.
Okay. If anybody has issues, if things come up, just let us know, but we'll plan for the quorum. I did get a note. I don't know, Todd and Dan, you're both up for reappointments. Have you heard from Diana Wackel yet?
Yeah, I sent in the form.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just got mine in the letter the other day. It's on my desk.
Okay. Are you gonna re-up?
Yeah, I think so. I couldn't remember. What is it? Is it a 2-year term? Is it a year? I couldn't remember. She said your current term is expiring, but I don't remember when I started. So
Right. You took over an existing term, right? Wayne's piece. Yeah, it's 3
Yeah.
years. It's a 3-year.
it's 3 years.
They're
Okay.
all
Yeah.
3-year terms.
Okay. I wasn't sure. It didn't say. So
All right. So we hope you stick around, Dan, but get your information in there.
yeah.
Anything else? Fred, anything else from your side?
Nope.
Commissioners, last comments, concerns? Okay. All right.
Oh, one thing. I do have one small thing. I did get an email. I don't know if you all got it from the new circuit rider at the DEP, introducing herself, putting her information out there in case anybody needs to reach out for any additional technical reference. I'll forward it to you if you didn't get it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. She's in the saddle, huh? She's out there riding. running around the circuit.
She is.
All right. Good for her. Good stuff. All right, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion,
So-
we adjourn the meeting.
Second,
Todd Helwig,
yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Dan Clark,
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
I vote yes. Very good.